All right, so what did the Dauntless decide to do? Well, we've got 3 players that want to turn hard to starboard towards the enemy, medium speed. We've got 2, maybe 3 players that want to do the opposite, turn to port, slow speed, and run away. So what do we do? Which one do we pick? I kind of think that the best thing to do here is probably turn port and run away. But technically and officially, we have more votes to turn starboard towards the enemy. So you know what? This is a demo, right? So we're here to learn. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do what we have most votes for, turn to starboard, engage with the enemy. But afterwards, I don't think that will last very long. But afterwards, I'll back up and we'll do the other moves so you can kind of see a comparison contrast, right? Where both of these moves would have taken the game. So yeah, so let's check that out. All right, so let's follow the turn sequence. Everybody sets their course in secret. Everybody reveals at the same time. Everybody moves at the same time. Dauntless is going 90 degrees starboard. This would be speed 1, this would be speed 2. Desolation's doing 90 degrees to port. Speed 1, speed 2. That's movement. Now we go to combat. First step is to assign crew. Normally you'd keep all these cards face down. But since we're learning, let's go ahead and turn these up so you guys can see what's going on. That's the Dauntless. All right, now you guys are in close range. So after cannon fire, that means you're in boarding range. Everybody was in agreement that the crew should put out the fire, and normally you're right. However, in this case, the Dauntless is probably going to sink after this shot. Desperate measures for desperate times, right? Instead of putting out this fire, I think your best move now is to actually man the guns and return fire. This is a long shot, but if you're incredibly lucky, you might be able to do 2 hull hits on the Desolation. And if you're incredibly lucky again, those 2 hull shots might just happen to take out their 2 remaining crew. And if that happened, there's a good chance you won't be able to save the Dauntless. But hey, you could seize their ship and take that and sail away. It's a consolation prize. At this point, that's about the only way I'm seeing victory for Dauntless. All right, now I don't know how well you can see this on the camera, but these move templates tell you how many damage cards to pull when you fire. So long range is 2, medium range is 3. We're in short range now, so that's going to be 4 damage cards. Let's go ahead and fire the Desolation first. This is all happening simultaneously, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, almost forgot. Because we assigned crew to man the guns, the fire and the breach don't get fixed during damage control. When a fire isn't fixed, it spreads and creates a new fire card. When a breach isn't fixed, you take on a water card. All right, now let's see what this broadside does. 4 new damage for this short shot. There's a hull hit. Another fire. Another breach. And more sail damage. But wait, there's more. They're firing a second set of guns. There's another fire. They're not being raked. If they were, there'd be an additional damage card. So how are you feeling about all this now? Broadsides, especially short range in this game, are devastating. It doesn't take much to sink a ship. At this point, notice that even if you survive this turn somehow, you've got 4 fires. Even if your crew survives, you can put out one of those fires next turn. The other 3 will generate 3 new fires. That'll be 6 total fires. 6 equals your hand size, which means by the damage step of next turn, Dauntless will sink. There's nothing anybody can do to stop it. Well, wait a second. There's one possible way out of that. If the Desolation boards, defeats the crew, captures the ship without losing any of their crew, their 2 crew cards might be able to put out these fires before the Dauntless sinks. If they can't, they're going to end up destroying the prize they're trying to capture. And that is something to think about in this game. It might have been better for the Desolation to not fire both sets of guns. For exactly that reason. Lots of interesting things to consider. Alright, so Dauntless returns fire. What happens over here? Only hope of survival for the Dauntless now is they got to inflict 2 hull hits on the Desolation, and both hull hits have to take out those crew. And even if that happens, there's not going to be any way to save the Dauntless now. They're going to have to abandon ship, commandeer the Desolation, as Dauntless sinks beneath the waves. Let's see what happens. 4 damage cards. Hull hit. Hey, there we go. We're halfway there, almost. Fire. Fire. Need 1 more hull hit. No, they got a breach. They don't have a second set of guns to fire, so there's no extra card. This is still pretty hefty damage for the Desolation. Now they've got 2 crew, so they should be able to handle that. But that's not going to be easy for them either. Okay, so that's fire the guns. Next step is boarding. Desolation boards. Dauntless does have crew to defend. You can sail with no crew. If Dauntless had no crew, they'd be captured right now. Defender rolls first. They hit on a 1 through 4. Because they're fighting pirates, if Dauntless rolls a 1, their crew will mutiny and join the pirates. What happens? 4. That kills the crew. Oh, we forgot to resolve the hull hit. This hull hit will randomly destroy one of these cards. Back up, which one? Let's just roll a die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It destroys the guns. Dauntless took a hull hit too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It destroys the guns. Okay, now they kill this crew. All right, the pirates fire back. The attacker needs 5 or 6 to hit. They miss. All right, maybe you guys weren't crazy after all. You've got a pretty good chance of winning here, actually. In fact, do the pirates even want to continue this boarding? Defender fires first, and they hit on a 4 through 6. But of course, we know that's their last crew because we've turned the cards up, right? So in a real game, these would be down, face down, and you wouldn't know. For all you would know, they might have more crew. Oh, and in fact, right now, the Desolation is actually in pretty big trouble. 2 crew could have easily put out these 2 fires next turn. 1 crew can't. So how would that work? Next turn, the crew would have to put out 1 fire. the one fire they can't put out would spread into two. So as long as that just keeps happening turn after turn after turn, the Desolation might be able to limp away and escape with their boat. They won't sink if they don't take on any more damage. However, that also means their crew can't do anything but constantly put out fires to keep the ship from sinking. They can't fire the guns, they can't fix the sails to go faster. Oh, and guess what? They can't fix the breach. So every turn, that breach is going to be bringing on a new water card. So that means right now, Desolation, even if they cancel this boarding and go back and survive with this one crew and give up, they've got 6 turns to get off the map before they sink from the breach. And with that, they can't fire any guns in combat, and they don't take on more damage. With only 1 crew left, one more broadside against the Desolation could doom her to going under also. All right, for the sake of argument, let's just say they try to go another round of boarding. Dauntless fires first. 5. You guys did it. You hit the pirate crew. They can't return fire. Okay, so in a regular blind game, the pirates would stop the boarding, no return fire. You wouldn't know that they have no crew left, but you might be pretty suspicious. And at this point, you've got to get off the Dauntless because the Dauntless is going to sink. You can't save her. So the pirates call off the boarding. But now the Dauntless has the option to initiate a boarding of their own. You kind of want to, don't you? All right, so they do. And the pirates can't counter. They have no crew, so boom. Your crew is now aboard the Desolation. You did it! I didn't think that was possible. But by some miracle, you pulled it off. I didn't see that coming. All right, so same situation applies. You've got 1 crew. You can put out 1 fire per turn, and the other fire will spread per turn. With the water leaking from the breach, you've got 6 moves to get back across the edge of the map. Without anybody else interfering, you should be able to do that. Not even God could save the Dauntless now. The Dauntless will indeed sink next turn.